Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm actually sharing some Marguerite Miller collages, and these are from week 10 through 13. And number 10, I actually made in a live on my channel, which is the one there with the cuckoo clock and the sewing machine. I am doing this whole year on these 4x6 cards. So this is week 10, and you can find the live video. I'll try to remember to leave it linked down below. So I go to my books that I have saved for this collage challenge, and I've even thought about using these Sweet Pea Curiosity books as well. There's a ton of books now on Amazon that are like ephemera, but I really love these two right here, which are great for collage because with all the different prompts and the Marguerite Miller challenge, it's nice to have these. And I've noticed, I bought these two because they have items at different scales. So the items in this book are scaled smaller than the items in the other book that I'll be showing you. Okay, so what I'm working on right now that says NASA is week number 11. And the prompts were an object that makes a familiar sound, something found in space, an art scrap, something soft, a set of 3 of something, and the bonus was a tissue paper or a napkin, which I did not do. But I did do a set of 3 cakes. I did the NASA helmet. And I was looking here for a bird. A bird is what makes a familiar sound to me. I think we kind of know when a bird is making a call. So that is what I'm thinking of here. And then something soft. I thought of a soft toy, like a plush, like a teddy bear. So I looked through the magazines, and luckily I found actually 2 teddy bears. I found a large and a small right there on that page. At first I just cut out the large one, not knowing exactly how my collage would come together, but I discovered last year when I was doing this challenge that I really love to build a scene. And so I end up needing that smaller bear for my scene to be what I want it to be. And then I grab this couch, which is also soft and also just helps me set the scene of this collage. So I really love those Dollar Tree cutting mats. I can put it behind my book page and not cut into anything and use these little pen cutters. I grabbed a stamp that has a bird on it, and I grabbed some art paper that a friend sent me, and I've held on to for years. I absolutely love it. And so I'm going to use that today. And I'm going to fussy cut everything out. I know fussy cutting is not for everyone, but I've learned to love it because it opens up so many possibilities. So I get things fussy cut out, and I love this little scene because it really reminds me of my children. My son had this NASA helmet that he used to wear all the time. My son used to love to dress up. When he was little, he would always go, with me to Target and be in a costume. He would be Spider-Man or Darth Vader or an astronaut or whatever it was. And his little sister coming up behind him, she's 3 years younger. Well, she had to do whatever her big brother was doing. So many times I would see her running around the house with his NASA helmet on, and it was too big, but it was so funny because she just wanted to be right there in the mix with her big brother. And so for me, this collage is very special. It just makes me think of my sweet little children when they were toddlers running around the house and being precious, just as children are. So I did realize, okay, this bear is way too big for what I want to create. So I went back and grabbed that little bear. It's really nice to have all the different scale of images that you can have for situations like this. Like, I ended up wanting her to hold the bear. Originally, I was thinking of putting the bear on the couch, but as the scene kind of developed for me, I wanted her to be able to hold the bear in her hand. And so I'm just cutting around so I can pop this little teddy bear in her hand. My daughter still has a ton of plushies. And don't tell anyone, but so does my son. It's so precious. He's almost 14 and he still has some of his favorite stuffed animals, and I love it. Okay, so here's the art paper that my friend made. Isn't it exquisite? Can you understand why I held on to it for years? I adore this piece of paper, and it's a painted like book page that she did, and she sent me about 5 or 6 sheets of paper, and they have been some of my favorite paper in my craft room, filled with paper to the ceiling and every wall. And her paper is still some of my favorites. We're going to explore more mixed media and painted papers soon, so just be ready for that, because I've used up her paper now. So, and as precious as it was to me, one, because she thought of me and sent it to me and shared her treasured paper with me, but two, I just genuinely really love it, so I need to make more. I know we've made a little bit here on my channel, but I need more. I go through paper pretty quickly around here. So I am just gluing this to my index card. So this year I had decided I would do the Marguerite Miller Challenge again, thanks to Barbie and Debbie's influence. But I would only do it on 4x6 index cards and turn my collages into greeting cards. Granted, they're very abstract and very different, but I absolutely know that there is a market for that. Here in Austin, Texas, we have this really fun and wonderful annual event. It's called the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar. And it's filled with all handmade items. Everything there is handmade. It's very arts driven. Like, you can find all kinds of paintings and prints and handmade ceramics and jewelry and art. And I could totally see these cards doing very well there. I don't have a booth there, but just being a regular to that Christmas bazaar every year, I know I know there's a market. There is a market for wacky collage cards. At least in Austin, Texas, there is. Granted, our slogan here is Keep Austin Weird. But yeah, this one, I don't even know if I would sell it because it's kind of sentimental to me. My daughter doesn't look like that at all. She has dark curly hair, dark skin. It's not that looks like my daughter, but I was thinking of my children when I made it, and it definitely, to me, encapsulates their younger years. And I put the cakes behind the couch. Her brother used to love bananas, and he would eat a ton of bananas, and I would find him sitting behind the couch eating bananas. And then when she got big enough, I'd find both of them sitting behind the couch eating bananas and cinnamon bread and anything else they decided to sneak off the kitchen counter while I was working. So I put the cakes behind the couch because if they could have reached a cake, they would have snuck that off and eaten that behind the couch too. Oh, I love it. So I am adding a little more of the stamp up here. This is an unmounted red rubber stamp that I had bought. I didn't realize it was an unmounted red rubber stamp. They are definitely not my favorite to work with. And I do have some mounting foam, so I probably should mount it because I do like this stamp. But yeah, it's in my stash, and by golly, I'm going to use it. So some of my other collages were much quicker, but I just love leaving all the steps in for you guys and hope that it inspires you. I did use a scrap and added a rug underneath the girl, and that completed that card. This next one is for week 12, and it's a tool commonly found in a garden, a piece of postcard either side, a fragrant item from your surroundings, paper that has a stain or is stained, and something you could give as a gift. The bonus was a musical instrument. So now I'm using this book I had bought the first year I did Marguerite Miller Collage, which is a sticker book. And as you can tell, it's going to last me a lifetime. It's got so many stickers in it. I've certainly used it, but I have a long way to go. This is, I think, my favorite of the collage books, which is Extraordinary Things to Cut Out and Collage. You can find these. I got mine at Barnes & Noble. You can find them on Amazon and maybe any book retailer that you have near you. But I love the variety. I like the way it's organized. And so I really enjoy using this book. Now, this one, it does have larger scaled images than the other one that I showed you at the beginning. We're going to take, I believe this is Louis Armstrong. I could be wrong. Is it Dizzy Gillespie? Is it Dizzy? I'm not sure. It's Louis or Dizzy. I'm not sure which one it is, to be honest. But one of those guys, one of those legendary guys. And then the stained paper, I decided to use my coffee dyed tea stained paper. I don't know which one it is. I don't know if I dyed this with coffee or tea. It's one of those, but it is stained. I stained it myself. And for the garden tool, it's a tool commonly found in a garden. I picked this spigot. And then for the something you give as a gift, diamonds and gems and pearls always work, right, ladies? Oh my goodness. So I picked these to be coming out of that spigot and showering down on our legendary jazz trumpeter. So I just placed those in. The postcard is kind of a 2-for, so a 2-for-1. It's a postcard and it's a fragrant item from my surroundings, which are flowers. They're everywhere. My sweet, sweet husband has planted them everywhere. Well, together we have planted them everywhere. I know some of you are wanting to see pictures of our gardens, which I think our front garden is and our front yard is finally coming like into bloom to where it would actually be interesting, coming out of winter. We're fully had a full spring already, and we are gearing up for summer here in South Texas. But yeah, everything is in full bloom and just gorgeous. So I'll try to film that sometime for you. I mean, it's not that spectacular, but for us, it's spectacular. We're building the secret garden here. So I'm going to glue this guy down, and that pretty much makes up this card. I've hit everything plus the bonus. Yay. So as I'm gluing these things down, these are all I made all of these cards in March. All of these cards were my March prompts, and April is still to come. So you're going to get 2 Marguerite Miller videos kind of close together. This has been sitting on my phone waiting to be edited, and I just now am getting around to it. So yeah, what you're looking at now are my March makes, and I have yet to make April. So I'm running a bit behind with Marguerite Miller, and I hope that, in sharing that if this is something that you're like, oh, I'll have to try that next year because I didn't get started at the beginning of the year. It doesn't matter when you start. And you could start the Marguerite Miller Challenge if you wanted to, and you could start with the January prompts and work your way through. You could do more than one a week. If you wanted to catch up, you could take 3 years to make it. I just share because everything doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be so-so. You don't have to have a challenge done at the exact time that it was scheduled to be done, or that it was, on someone else's schedule. You can do things on your own schedule and in your own time and give yourself grace. You could decide, I'm just going to start with this week's, and I'll go back and do the rest of the year if I ever feel like it, and in my own time. And you could do these, halfway through. So I would just want to encourage you to do the challenge if you're interested, because I think there's a lot of artistic growth and benefit that I gained from doing this challenge, which is why I picked it up again. I know it made me a better paper crafter. I have fun doing collage. I got to actually find some of my artistic style through doing this, that I do like storytelling through my paper crafts. I do like, building scenes. I've always loved collage since I was a little girl. I think it's one art form that anybody can do. Anybody can pick up old books, magazines, anything, and start collaging. Your patterned paper, your stamp sets, whatever you have access to, you're able to collage. So this is week 13, and it's very different. So this is a stirring tool, a dictionary page, a line of poetry, a label, a path or a road, and circles. So my stirring tool are the chopsticks. They're great for stirring, by the way, in the kitchen, like in a pot. I love using chopsticks to stir. And then I have a dictionary page, which is a French-English dictionary page. And I found the page for ancient, which I thought would go well with the South American pyramid there. So I picked ancient as my word on my dictionary page. And then I have a line of poetry, and that poem was from a poetry book that I used for junk journals. The label was from my sticker book, and so is the sun, which is my circle. That is also from my sticker book. And then the path or the road are the stairs up to the top of that pyramid. I have this really old Tailored Expressions stamp kit or stamp set from, I don't know, I think it's 2014 or even older. But it had this sentiment, and I liked the scriptiness of it. And it says, "You lift me up," which I think it's really funny because, like, the chopsticks are picking up the sun. It's really just surreal art, and I did feel like it was just too basic. And I have this gorgeous mixed media paper that I made with watercolors, and maybe a little bit of mica stain. Again, we will make some painted papers together again because I am running incredibly low. But I decided to use this paper and cut a 5x7 background for my card. I don't know if I've said it yet, but I'm putting all these 4x6 collages on 5x7 cards. I know I explained that I'm doing my collage on index cards this year, but I don't know that I explained that I'm putting them on 5x7 card bases. So there we go. We'll get there. So yeah, to me, that mixed media painted paper pulled this entire card together. Before I added that, it wasn't feeling great. I wasn't loving it. After I put that paper there, I'm feeling it. Loving it, I don't know about loving it, but I'm definitely feeling it. And I feel like that paper was just perfect. It was just perfect for this collage and this card. So here are my 4 cards. Now, again, that the first card that I made in Alive, this one right here. The prompts for this was a piece of furniture, an advertisement, a scrap of sheet music, fire or smoke, something that hangs on a string or a cord, and a typewriter text. We made this in Alive in real time on my channel. On the back of these, I always put authentic art made by me, and then I put the hashtag for the challenge so that when someone does get one of these, they can follow the hashtag and see lots of artists and lots of creativity. And I think that that is the really cool thing about turning these into cards and giving them or selling them, is that it will expose both the buyer and the recipient to collage art, and not just my art and not just this card, but potentially hundreds of pieces of art and people's interpretation of these prompts. So these are the Marguerite Miller prompts. They are an annual challenge, and you can purchase the prompts over on Etsy. I will leave Marguerite Miller's link down below. It's not affiliated or anything. I don't think she knows about me at all. It's fine. But that way you can find the prompts if you're inspired to do so. I hope you found lots of inspiration here with me today. Thank you for spending your time with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.